Let me ask you something. You open your chart, you see a green candle. What do? Most traders buy. Now, you see a red candle. What do? Most traders sell. And most traders lose. I spent 8 years figuring out why. And the answer came down to one thing. They're reading the wrong data. Price tells you what happened, but volume tells you why. Today, I'm going to show you a tool that completely changed how I see the market. It is called volume profile. And by the end of this video, you will never look at the chart the same way again. Let's get into it. What is volume profile? The complete beginner guide. Let's get into it. First, I want to show you the difference between how a retail trader sees the market and how an institution sees it. On the left, this is what most traders look at. Candlestick patterns, support and resistance, lines, RSI, MACD, moving averages. Price goes up, they buy. Price goes down, they sell. And there's nothing wrong with that, except for one thing. They have zero context of who is actually moving the market. Now, look at the right side. This is the institutional view. Institutions don't ask, where is the price going? They ask, where is the most of the volume being traded? Where did the big players enter and where is the fair value? Because here's the truth. Price is just a vehicle. Volume is the engine. And when you understand where the engine is running, everything else starts to make sense. So, what exactly is volume profile? Simple definition. Volume profile is a charting tool that shows how much was traded at each price level, not just when, how much. Think about it like this. Imagine a busy city. Some streets are packed with people, restaurants, shops, traffic. Other streets are completely empty. Now, imagine you're driving through that city. On the busy streets, you slow down, there is congestion. On the empty streets, you accelerate, nothing to stop you. That's exactly how price moves through a volume profile. Now, let's break it down into 3 parts. Number 1, the price axis. This is your vertical axis. It shows price levels from low to high. Nothing new here. Number 2, the volume bars. These are horizontal bars extending to the right of your chart. The longer the bar, the more volume was traded at that price level. Number 3, the time range. You choose how much history you want to analyze. 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, or even the entire trading history of an asset. That's it. Simple concept, but incredibly powerful when you know how to read it. Now, let's talk about the 3 zones you absolutely must know. Zone number 1, the POC, point of control. This is the price level with the highest volume in your selected range, the longest bar on your volume profile. This is what the market considers fair value. It's where buyers and sellers agreed the most. And here's what's critical. The market always wants to return to the POC. Think of it like gravity. You can throw a ball in the air, but it always comes back down. Price can move away from the POC, but it always comes back. Real example. If Bitcoin traded 60% of its daily volume at $67,000, that's the POC. No matter where price goes during the day, there is a magnetic pull back to $67,000. Zone number 2, HVN, high volume node. These are areas where a lot of trading happened. Not the highest, but still significant clusters of volume. When price enters an HVN, it slows down, like walking through thick water. There are so many orders at these levels that the market needs time to work through them. This is where you find strong support and resistance, not because of a line you drew, but because of where real money was traded. Zone number 3, LVN, low volume node. This is the opposite, areas where almost no trading happened. These are the gaps in the volume profile, the thin, empty zones. When price enters an LVN, it accelerates like a vacuum. There are almost no orders to slow it down. This is where momentum trades live. This is where breakouts happen fast. So, to summarize, POC is your magnet, HVN is your slow zone, and LVN is your fast zone. Map these 3 on any chart and you immediately have an edge that 95% of retail traders don't have. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. This sounds interesting, but does it actually work? Or is this just another indicator? That's actually a great question. Let me tell you exactly why volume profile works, and it has nothing to do with opinions or theories. Reason number 1, institutions cannot hide. When a hedge fund decides to buy 500 million worth of Bitcoin, they cannot do it in just one click. They need to spread that order across thousands of trades, across hours or even days. And when they do that, they leave a mark, a massive high volume node at their entry price. You can literally see on your chart where they stepped in. Volume profile makes the invisible visible. Reason 2, markets return to value. Every market has a concept of fair value, the price where buyers and sellers feel comfortable. That's the POC. When price moves too far away from fair value, it gets pulled back like a rubber band. This is why you see markets consolidate after big moves. They're returning to value. Reason 3, liquidity gaps create fuel. Low volume nodes are liquidity gaps. When price enters these gaps, there are almost no resting orders, no buyers, no sellers, nothing to absorb the move. This creates fast, explosive price action. And when you can identify these gaps in advance, you can position yourself right before the acceleration. Reason 4, it works on every single market: crypto, Forex, stocks, gold, oil, futures, wherever large institutions trade. Volume profile reveals their footprint. This is a universal tool, not built for one market, not built for one time frame, built for understanding how markets actually work. Now, before we finish, I want to save you from the 3 mistakes I see beginners make constantly with volume profile. Mistake number 1, using it on the wrong time frame. I see this all the time. Someone adds volume profile to a 1-minute chart and says it doesn't work. Of course, it doesn't work. On a 1-minute chart, the volume is noise, random, meaningless. Volume profile reveals institutional activity, and institutions don't operate on 1-minute charts. They operate on daily, weekly, and sometimes 4-hour. Fix. Start with the daily chart, add volume profile for the last 30 days, see where the major HVNs and LVNs are. Then, and only then, drop down to lower time frames for your entry. Mistake number 2, treating every HVN as support or resistance. Not all high volume nodes are created equal. A lonely HVN with no confluence, that's just a cluster of volume. A strong HVN that also lines up with a previous market structure level, an order block, and a key psychological price, that's a high probability zone. Fix. Always look for confluence. Volume profile is powerful, but it's even more powerful when it confirms what other tools are already showing you. Mistake 3, ignoring the POC. This one surprises me the most. I watch traders mark levels all over their chart, but completely ignore the POC. The POC is the most important level on your volume profile. It's the gravitational center of the market. Price will visit the POC more often than any other level. Fix. Every single day before you do anything else, identify where the POC is. Mark it on your chart and watch how price reacts to it throughout the session. All right, here's what I want you to do right now, not tomorrow, right now. Open your trading view, pull up any chart, Bitcoin, gold, Euro, USD, whatever you trade. Add the volume profile indicator. Search for volume profile fixed range in the indicators menu. Select the last 2 weeks of price action. Find the POC. It's the longest horizontal bar. Mark your HVNs, the thick clusters of volume, and then mark your LVNs, the thin, almost empty zones. Then just watch. Watch how price slows down at HVNs. Watch how price accelerates through LVNs. Watch how price keeps coming back to the POC. You don't need to trade yet, just watch. Let the market prove it to you, because once you see it, you cannot unsee it. In the next video, I'm going to take you through a live chart from open to close and show you exactly how I use volume profile to identify my setups in real time, step by step. No theory, just execution. If you don't want to miss that, subscribe and turn on notifications right now and drop a comment below. Tell me, what markets are you going to test this on first? I read every single comment. See you in the next video.